Morant with a running start. It dunks! Oh my goodness! Tie game in overtime. Gasol will turn his heat. It's gone! Memphis on top. 7-10 remaining. Conley now with three. Count it! A 15-point lead for Memphis. And Blake Griffin gets into it on the floor with Randolph. Hard to tell if there are any punches being thrown under there, but Griffin took acceptance. Adams going long. Morant! He hit it! John Morant, insanity!
You gotta be kidding me.
Welcome to Grits and Grinds, a Memphis Grizzlies podcast. Grizzlies win edition. My name is Keith Parrish. The Grizzlies scored a season-high 131 points. They made 8 out of 10 three-pointers into the third quarter to pull away from the Los Angeles Lakers and improve to 5-4. Unfortunately, they did not escape the game unscathed as Ja Morant left with a hamstring injury. His status for Friday night's game against the Wizards is currently undetermined. But on today's episode, we're going to talk about the win. And before we get there, I'm just going to remind you that for this game on Friday night, the upcoming home game against the Washington Wizards, if you're in the Nashville, Tennessee area, if you're anywhere near Nashville, come to Noble's Beer Hall. I will be hosting the watch party there. I will be giving away Grizzlies prizes. This is Noble's Beer Hall in East Nashville on Main Street. Come join other Grizzlies fans. The game starts at 7 p.m. We'll have a great time over there. All right. In this game, of course, the Grizzlies remained shorthanded with no Desmond Bane and no Marcus Smart. But the Grizzlies caught a huge break as Anthony Davis did not play for the Lakers. Also, Rui Hachimura, who typically destroys the Grizzlies, he also did not play. So the Grizzlies got a schedule break once again, much like they played a shorthanded Sixers team. This was a weaker than normal Lakers team, and the Grizzlies' depth right now, which is not something you would have highlighted in the preseason, but right now, because Scotty Pippen Jr. and Jalen Wells and Jay Huff and Jake LaRavia are all playing so well, that's advantage Grizzlies. The Lakers' deeper bench guys, they were not good. Max Christie and Gabe Vincent. Dalton Knecht got the start for the Lakers. This was Dalton Knecht's return to the state of Tennessee. Had a really bad game. Only scored 3 points. Jake LaRavia was out muscling him for and one plays in the fourth quarter. Jake's out there flexing on him. By the way, reminder, Jake LaRavia is younger than Dalton Knecht. But the Grizzlies got incredible play from their bench. Ja Morant, when he was available, played very, very well. Jaren Jackson Jr. had his third straight 20-point game. So a lot of good stuff from this one. Maybe the biggest stat for the game is just the Grizzlies making 17 three-pointers. They were 17 for 34 from the three-point line. That's a season-high percentage. It's a tie for the season high in makes, and that's how they ran away with it. The first half was very disjointed. It was a struggle. I liked it. I think you might call it a rock fight. Neither team was getting up and down. The Grizzlies were not really able to find a flow. They were not picking up very many assists. The end of the first half had some mild fireworks as Ja Morant and LeBron James got into it, had a little bit of a back and forth. Ja scored on Gabe Vincent, did the too small. Then LeBron comes down, scores on Ja, does the too small. Then there was some jawing. There was a technical foul on Ja Morant as he came up to bump him. So all that I thought was a lot of fun. But this back and forth, this physical play at the end of the first half, I felt like it gave the Grizzlies a little bit of life. Maybe it woke the crowd up. It gave them a spark. Then they came out in the third quarter and really were on fire. You had the three-point shooting. Ja Morant made threes. You had Jalen Wells sticking a three right in LeBron's face. I mean, Ja Morant making pull-ups is always a great sign. I mean, they were 8 out of 10 on three-pointers in the third quarter, and that doesn't even count Ja Morant's long two-pointer where his toe was on the line. Also a big hero, again, is Jay Huff. So Zach Edey, who got the start, did not have a very good game. I think Grizzlies fans were wondering for a little bit there, where is Zach Edey? Why hasn't he come back in? Zach Edey started the game on a really strong note. Just like they've been doing in previous games, they give him an early touch in the paint. Zach Edey got the ball, was very, very strong, powered up for a layup, looked really, really good. So his first stint, he got 4 points and 3 rebounds. I was like, all right, this is a good follow-up to his incredible game against the Nets. But then he was on the bench for like 12, 13 minutes. I didn't really think anything of it. He comes back in the second quarter, and he struggles immediately. He had some pretty ugly-looking post-ups. One, he just loses the ball. One, he posts up forever, then finally kicks it back out to Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells throws it back to him. He tries a pretty long jump hook. He gets isolated on LeBron a couple times. That's not his fault. Seems like the team was okay with the defense being Zach Edey switched onto LeBron out top, but LeBron goes right by him for a couple of layups. So it was an underwhelming second quarter. Third quarter, unfortunately, it was more of the same. He misses some passes from Ja Morant. He has a pass bounce off his stomach that would have been a dunk, but then he subs out with the Grizzlies ahead, I think by 4, and Jay Huff comes into the game. And Jay Huff, once again, just lights up the other team. This is another third quarter Jay Huff explosion. First, he hits a corner three-pointer. Then there is a LaRavia drive towards the basket where LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell maybe got a little confused on the defense. Then on the next play, you get the Huff combo meal. D'Angelo Russell, who just let Jake LaRavia go by him for a layup, is in the corner on offense and tries to shoot a three-pointer over Huff. Huff blocks the corner three, then runs down, and Santi Aldama finds him in the corner for another three-pointer. Lakers call timeout. By the way, D'Angelo Russell leaves the game, does not return. He gets benched after that little sequence. But Jay Huff isn't done. Jay Huff ends up hitting another three-pointer, has a reverse dunk tip-in play. This entire Jay Huff sequence ends up stretching the Grizzlies' lead to 15. Now with the Grizzlies up 15, this is then when the play comes where Ja Morant injures himself. Ja Morant tried to catch an alley-oop. Jake LaRavia got a steal and then attempted to hit Ja for an alley-oop in a very tight space. It looked like Ja hit his hands on the rim. He didn't gather the ball. He was bumped from below while he was airborne. He falls kind of awkwardly. I thought it was going to be like a wrist injury of some sort, either from hitting the ground or from hitting the rim. Turns out it's a hamstring injury. So Ja Morant does not return to the game. We do not know his status as of now, as of this recording on Thursday morning around 9 a.m. Central. Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully he's available for that home game against the Wizards. He's available to play on Friday night during our Nashville Grizzlies watch party. But right now we don't know. So fingers crossed it's nothing serious with Ja. But once Ja Morant left the game, there was no let up. You got huge play from Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, by the way, a career-high 20 points. A career-high 5 made three-pointers. He was 4 for 4 on threes in the second half. In just the second half, Scotty Pippen Jr., Jay Huff, and Jalen Wells were a combined 9 out of 10 from the three-point line. If you're a Lakers fan, that's kind of tough to swallow. Look no further to any other stats. Jay Huff, Jalen Wells, and Scotty Pippen Jr., 3 guys who all played Summer League this year, made 9 out of 10 three-pointers against you in the second half. But Jalen Wells plays great. Jake LaRavia has a huge second half. And then Scotty Pippen Jr. revenge game. Scotty Pippen Jr. steps up in the absence of Ja Morant and brings the game home. The fourth quarter minutes, this has been several games in a row now. It's scheduled that John Morant doesn't play the start of the fourth quarter. They've been using these bench lineups that are anchored by Jaren Jackson Jr. They're anchored by that Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark front court. The Grizzlies have been winning these minutes. It feels like, I want to say 3 games in a row, Jaren Jackson Jr. has scored the first basket of the fourth quarter. It happened in this game. He got an and one over LeBron James. A little bit after this, Pippen makes a huge play where he steals the ball. It was a lazy pass from Gabe Vincent, but Pippen is guarding Gabe Vincent, but then falls back and steals the pass. And then Pippen finds Luke Kennard for Luke Kennard's first field goal of the season. By the way, Luke Kennard made his season debut. I guess I could have brought that up earlier. Kennard hits a 3-pointer from the wing. Perhaps he traveled. Perhaps not, as the officials didn't call anything. So Luke hits this 3-pointer, puts the Grizzlies up 22. And then a couple plays, maybe it was right after, maybe a couple plays later, perhaps the play of the game, non-Jay Huff division, Scotty Pippen Jr. rips the ball away from LeBron James. LeBron going up for a layup. Scotty just takes the ball and then pushes it, gets it to LaRavia. LaRavia finds Jalen Wells in the corner. Jalen drills the 3-pointer. That basically, I felt, wrapped the game up. That put them up 20 with about 5 minutes left. By the way, Jalen Wells' final 3 that gave him 20 points was just nasty. I mean, step back 3-pointer. Jalen Wells has been so good this season. As a starter, he's averaging 14 points per game. By the way, on the season right now, Jalen Wells is back up to second among all rookies in scoring. He passed Zach Edey. Right now, they both trail Zachary Risache, who on Wednesday night scored over 30 points. So Risache now averaging 12 points per game, and Wells is averaging 10.9. Zach Edey is averaging 10.8. Both Edey and Wells were top 5 in the NBA's own rookie leaderboard, which, to be clear, is just an article somebody writes. It's not like anything official or anything. But Zach Edey was number 1 on NBA.com's Kia Rookie Ladder. That gets you excited. There you go. But Jalen Wells continues playing very, very well. Came up huge at the end of this game. As to the Scotty Pippen Jr. revenge game, after the game, Pippen said that this was an important game. He said, quote, "They didn't believe in me." This follows up the Milwaukee Bucks revenge game where Scotty Pippen Jr. wanted to show out for Darvin Ham, who, of course, coached the Lakers last year. After that game, he said, one of the coaches over there didn't believe in me, so I definitely wanted to show that I can play some defense. So this next revenge game from Scotty Pippen Jr., he finished up with 14 points, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 6 rebounds, made 3 out of 4 3-pointers. I know Lakers fans who followed Scotty's time on the Lakers, particularly frustrated that the 3-pointers were going in for Scotty. That's something that did not happen for him when he was with the South Bay Lakers. He was not very good at shooting. Right now, Scotty Pippen Jr. has been tremendous this season for the Grizzlies. And anytime he's playing a team that maybe has someone who didn't believe in him, looks like maybe he's going to give us a strong performance. I'm going back to Zach Edey. He got back in garbage time, so he finishes with an okay stat line of 7 rebounds and 8 points. He had 3 turnovers. I'm happy to see he's getting offensive rebounds again. The team continues rebounding the ball very, very well. I did not think this was going to be the formula for the Grizzlies getting extra possessions this year. I thought they were going to generate extra possessions. Hopefully, the plan was to turn the other team over, to get steals. Right now, they're not getting steals. They only got 5 steals as a team in this game. For the season, they are 25th in the NBA in steals per game, but they're rebounding. They got 12 offensive rebounds in this game. They out-rebounded the Lakers by 13 overall. They keep winning the rebounding battle in these games, and that is how they're generating these extra possessions. Helping out with the rebounds was Santi Aldama. So Santi Aldama started once again at the small forward position. He posted his third double-double of the season. Santi only had 5 double-doubles all of last season. Santi in this game, 11 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Only 1 out of 5 from the three-point line. So now that extends his cold shooting stretch to 6 games. He's 3 for 27 on three-pointers in the past 6 games, but he's rebounding the ball well, and he's playing, I think, a good role on this team. And in each of these games where he's had a double-double, it was one of the games where he started at small forward. So maybe just more rebounds are coming to him at this spot. Maybe someone who I think is a subpar rebounder at a 4, when you get to play the 3, all right, all of a sudden, maybe you're a plus rebounder. By the way, one of his offensive rebounds was slamming back home one of Zach Edey's misses. Jaren in this game had his 3rd straight 20-point game. Jaren has been phenomenal this season. Had 20 points, 6 rebounds, tied his season high with 3 blocks. For the year, Jaren is making 58% of his field goal attempts, which is just spectacular. Ja had 20 points. He had 5 assists, made 2 out of 3 three-pointers, although would have been 3 out of 4 if he scoot back a couple of inches for that one pull-up that ended up being a 2-pointer. Jay Huff's final stat line, 11 points, 4 assists for Huff, 3 out of 6 from the three-point line, continues providing an unbelievable spark off of the bench. And by the way, Jake LaRavia continues just doing whatever you need. He got off to a slightly slow start. He missed his first few field goal attempts. He ended up making 6 of his final 7 shots from the field. This is like that other game. Was it the Bucks game? I can't remember. There was another game where he made 7 out of his final 8 field goal attempts. He hit a 3-pointer in this one. Finishes with 13 points and a career high 8 assists. In the previous game against the Nets, he matched his career high with 6 assists. Jake has 5 or more assists in 4 of the last 6 games. Jake is playing very, very well. I mean, again, like I said, he outplayed Dalton Knecht. Yes, it was just Dalton Knecht's like 6th or 7th game of his career. But Jake has a strong all-around game and a wildly inconsistent offensive repertoire. So he's making winning plays over and over. I think you can be very happy with what Jake did in this game. Another big storyline from this game was that Taylor Jenkins wasn't there. If you didn't watch the game or if you missed the news, Taylor Jenkins missed this game due to a death in his family. So Tomas Isalo coached the team. It was interesting. I mean, I was joking in my Patreon-only Slack channel, like, hey, what if he plays Ja and Jaren 40 minutes? But no, he kept the same strategies as Taylor Jenkins had been using. He was asked before the game if the rotations would be different, and he's like, no, rotations are set up by our small group play. We're not going to do anything different. I mean, maybe you could say Isalo played Edey less, but I do think it might have been a reaction to the game. Maybe not. Who knows? He was asked pregame just how he feels about the team this year, and he said some really interesting things. He said the situation with the Grizzlies right now, they're trying to do something unique. He said, quote, there's a lot of high character, intelligent people wanting to do something unique. He says everybody's gelled very well. And I think when he talks about doing something unique, they're talking about maybe this lower minutes total for everybody, this movement-based, constantly reacting, everyone playing interconnected, which again is what everyone does for basketball. But still, they're trying to maybe install a new philosophy. So hearing him call it unique, I at least thought was notable. But Isalo coaches this game for Taylor Jenkins, picks up a victory. Of course, the way the NBA does it, this victory just goes under Taylor Jenkins' all-time coaching record. And I don't think anything was that different with the rotation. It all seemed very typical to what has happened in the other games. Like Luke Kennard's first game, so he joins the rotation, but with no John Conchar again. there's nothing weird or controversial about the 10 guys who played in the rotation. They kept staggering Ja and Jaren's minutes. In the non-Ja minutes, it was usually Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the front court. Like Luke Kennard, he played every single minute with this Jaren and Brandon front court. By the way, Brandon Clark for the year, he's played a majority of his minutes with Jaren on the court. But right now, Brandon Clark, when he's on the court, the Grizzlies have a plus 20 net rating on the season. That's in 267 possessions. Now, if you compare his minutes with Jaren and without Jaren, when he's on the court without Jaren, plus 3 net rating. On the court with Jaren, plus 32 net rating. That little magic trick also works with Jake LaRavia's net ratings for the season. Jake LaRavia this season, when Jaren Jackson Jr. is not on the court, plus 3.4 net rating. When Jaren Jackson Jr. is on the court with him, plus 28 net rating. You can probably do this with every single player. I haven't done it with every single player yet, but very notable. But Brandon Clark, I thought had a really good game again, even though he missed a lot of makeable shots. Thought his defense was good. Thought his movement was good. Thought his activity was good. He just missed some makeable shots. He was just 2 out of 6 from the field, 6 points. Played 19 minutes, which is, I think, a season high for Brandon. So maybe Brandon is getting a little bit more of an opportunity now. As a team, the Grizzlies scored 60 points in the paint. Again, that obviously is tremendous. At the end of the game, Yuki Kawamura got in the game, so did Colin Castleton. Also, a former South Bay Laker, just like Jay Huff and Scotty Pippen Jr. Yuki still has not made a field goal attempt this season, but did get fouled, and he made both of his free throws and got his first NBA points. So congratulations to Yuki Kawamura for that. And now the Grizzlies are 5-4. Play the Wizards on Friday. Then they have a road trip. They play the Trailblazers, the Lakers, and the Warriors. So a Lakers rematch for the in-season tournament coming up next Wednesday. Then they return home for back-to-back home games against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are probably going to be without Aaron Gordon for those games. He's been injured. By the way, the Nuggets beat the Thunder without Aaron Gordon on Wednesday night. So looks like there's going to be some challenging stuff upcoming for the Grizzlies, and we have fingers crossed that somebody is coming back from the injury report. At the very least, maybe John Conchar, who keeps being doubtful and then ruled out. But soon Desmond Bain, soon Marcus Smart, soon Vince Williams Jr., and then hopefully this team will get even more fun. But it was a great victory over the Lakers. Like any game against the Lakers you get up for, and of course the Grizzlies have a history with the Lakers. Ja Morant said after the game, "I don't like them," which makes sense. So a very exciting and fun victory for the Grizzlies, beating the Lakers by 17, getting above 500. And now on to the next one. Let's take care of business against the Wizards. If you're in Nashville, come out to that Grizzlies watch party at Noble's Beer Hall. Anyways, if you want to support this show, do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Come join my Grizzlies Slack channel. Come get some bonus content available only at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right, you guys have a good one. Talk to you soon. Go Grizz.